Jokic with the triple-double, his 22nd of his season and 186th of his career. And then McCain on the other end scores. And Jokic hits the deck. He doesn't like it. Gets in the face of Dort. Jalen Williams comes in. And Jokic and Jalen Williams do battle.
Trash talking in the NBA is very common. Of all the drama that happens in a basketball game, 30% of it is trash talking. But all that stops when it comes to Nikola Jokic because, well, this can happen.
Adebayo, no, Jokic was there. Nuggets have 5 on 4. And Jokic, oh no! No! Traveling violation. And that's another way to look at Jokic and Crowder here, Chauncey.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love this type of basketball.
Rebound collected by Bridges. Foul on Jokic. Down goes Payne and across the face, and here we go.
But these are not isolated examples, so join in as we show you more examples that explain why you don't talk trash to Nikola Jokic. However, it's only right we begin with the man who's quickly gaining some reputation as the dirtiest player in the league. For years, Nikola Jokic has carried a reputation as the calmest superstar in the league. He rarely complains to referees, he avoids drama, and most of the time, he looks like he would rather go home and watch horse racing than argue with another NBA player. But that calm personality has a limit. And Lu Dort just found it. During a heated matchup between the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder, the game quickly turned physical. Dort was guarding Jokic all night, and anyone who has watched Dort play knows that physical defense is his entire identity. But it very often crosses the line.
Dort gets bumped by Oppen hits the deck. Dort put his knee on the ball, tries to shovel to Jerome. Love's over there. Oh my word, and we have a foul call. And Love didn't like Dort's late reaction. Now a number of players get involved.
So it was only a matter of time before he did something reckless.
With Dort, so let's watch this ensue up the floor. Oh yeah, Dort goes over out of his way, and this is what gets the reaction from Jokic.
It's right in the face of Dort. Jalen Williams comes in.
Immediately, Jokic got up and was beyond furious. It was as if we were watching the birth of a new Gotham villain in real time. And if you looked at his face at that moment, you could tell immediately this was not the usual calm Jokic. The reason becomes clearer when you look at Dort's history. His defensive reputation is built on aggression, but that aggression has produced plenty of controversial plays across the league. So much so, people are saying this about him. Jokic had dealt with it the entire night, and this moment was simply the breaking point. But what made the reaction even more interesting was the situation Jokic and the Nuggets were already dealing with. Denver had been struggling. Injuries had slowed down key players. The defense that once helped them win a championship had slipped down the rankings. Even Jokic himself had been playing through wrist issues that had quietly bothered him for years. When you combine frustration, injury, and a physical opponent trying to take your legs out underneath you, the explosion suddenly makes sense. This was not just about one play. This was the best player in the world reaching his breaking point. And if history has taught us anything about Nikola Jokic, it is that the moment someone pushes him too far, they usually regret it. And this is something Lu Dort and OKC fans can look forward to very soon. Even in that very game, Jokic made a key aggressive play late in the fourth quarter, muscling in a tough basket with 37 seconds left to tie the game at 107 and force overtime. But in case you doubt Jokic's retribution in their next matchup, here are some players who have trashed Jokic in the past and they paid for it. Now, most people know about the Markieff Morris incident with Jokic, but have you really sat down to think about how strong the Joker must have been to basically end his career with one hit? Listen, Morris played center and tight end in Pop Warner football as a kid in rough North Philly neighborhoods. Not only that, he was the enforcer blocking for his twin brother Marcus, who played QB. Around that time, Jokic couldn't even do 10 push-ups according to his coach. Makes you wonder where Nikola Jokic got his horsepower from. Anyways, after the Morris incident, the message should have been clear. Do not poke the Joker. But in the NBA, there will always be someone willing to test that rule. One of those players was Julius Randle. Back in 2018, the Denver Nuggets faced the Los Angeles Lakers in a game that was already slipping away from Denver. The Lakers were leading late in the fourth quarter, and the result was practically decided. Yet, in the middle of a possession, Randle suddenly shoved Jokic without being provoked.
And some words between Randle and Jokic now.
Well, Randle just shoved Jokic to the ground, and I don't know if he was trying to sell it or not. But right in front of the baseline official just shoved him down.
Jokic immediately popped back up and was ready to let loose, but teammates stepped in before the situation could escalate. But the tension between the two players had already been established. And, like most Jokic rivalries, the real response came later. A few seasons later, Nikola Jokic had begun his NBA takeover. Julius Randle himself was not doing too badly coming off a breakout season. Regardless, when they met again in Madison Square Garden, Jokic delivered his answer. He attacked the rim and dunked directly over Randle, just to let him know that he was on his case. You see, the Joker only dunks when he wants to make a point and he wants it to be loud. So when Randle finished that night with a quiet performance, Jokic controlled the entire game. But the list of players who tried to test Jokic did not stop there. Russell Westbrook learned a similar lesson. During a matchup between the Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder, tensions boiled over late in the game when Westbrook shoved Jamal Murray during a jump ball situation. Jokic did not hesitate. He sprinted across the floor and got directly into Westbrook's face to defend his teammate.
So Denver's going to have 2 wins over Oklahoma City this year. Oh, Jamal Murray and Russell Westbrook get into it. Technical foul called here. Westbrook shoved Murray, and now Paul George trying to separate. Adams holding on to Jokic.
Steven Adams had to step in and pull Jokic away before things escalated further. And at that point, no one would have known that they would one day become one of the most exciting duos in the league. However, the Joker made sure to have his response when the two teams met again. In that match, Jokic buried a three-pointer directly over Westbrook and finished the game controlling every possession, while Westbrook struggled to find his rhythm. That's how it always pans out. If you challenge Jokic, he might not respond immediately, but eventually he will answer. And sometimes he does not even need words to do it. Because against some of the best defensive big men in the league, Jokic simply proves his point on the scoreboard. The first was Dwight Howard, also known as Superman, back in the 2020 Western Conference Finals. The Los Angeles Lakers gave Howard a very specific assignment, which was simply to rough Jokic up and push him around. It was almost like a corruption of the comic story because this time, Superman was the one trying to get in the Joker's head. Anyway, early in the series, the plan worked. Howard constantly bumped him in the post, fought him for rebounds, and tried to drag the game into a physical battle. The Lakers eventually won the series and went on to win the championship. But time has a way of flipping these stories. While Jokic continued improving into the best player in the world, Howard slowly disappeared from the league. By the 2022 season, he could not secure an NBA contract and eventually took his career overseas. Jokic, on the other hand, was just getting started. Then came Rudy Gobert, who was the new best defender in the league. Gobert built his reputation as one of the most dominant defensive players of his generation. 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards, and a reputation as the league's most intimidating rim protector. But when Gobert faced Jokic on the night he was set to receive another Defensive Player of the Year trophy, Jokic delivered a message.
5. That's a bad pass. Jokic comes up with it. Jokic coming in. Score and a foul.
35 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. Gobert had the awards, but Jokic had the answers. That game perfectly summarized Jokic's career. He does not dominate through intimidation. He dominates through skill, patience, and an understanding of the game that few players have ever possessed. But if someone tries to challenge him, the response usually comes quickly, and it usually comes on the scoreboard. At first glance, Nikola Jokic does not look like the kind of player who starts rivalries. He moves slowly, he rarely celebrates, and most of the time, he looks like he would rather be back home watching horse races. But behind that calm personality is one of the fiercest competitors the league has ever seen. And for everyone that tries to take him out, he is more than a match for them. The lesson so far from messing with Jokic is that if you push him far enough, he will respond. Sometimes with a shove, but most of the time with dominance on the court. Either way, the message is clear. Do not poke the Joker. But if you enjoy stories like this one, and you're wondering what rivalry do NBA fans love to watch the most now? Well, watch Nikola Jokic and Anthony Edwards is the duel the NBA fans love, and see if you agree with us or not.